We can't allow for our votes to be acted as if they don't matter. And if we don't put the energy and time into going out and making sure that we vote, we can't complain about what nobody else does. It starts with us. Nobody else is going to come and do this for us. Nobody's going to save us. There's nobody coming down out of the sky to come and make sure that we get everything we need. We have to take care of ourselves, and that starts with voting.
Janelle, I guarantee you somebody here is 412. And they say, okay, it's 412. Well, let's go back to Sherry Beasley. When she ran for Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court, had she won, Democrats would have had a 6-1 control of the state Supreme Court. When they controlled the court, they ruled against racial gerrymandering, political gerrymandering. They stopped a lot of the actions of the Republican legislature. She runs, she loses by 401 votes. You had more than 100,000 black folks alone in North Carolina who did not vote. What happens? It goes from Democrat potentially 6-1 down to 4-3. Well, then they lose again. Now it's Republican 5-2. What happens? Political gerrymandering being allowed. They're about to gerrymander more seats. Racial gerrymandering, voter ID, all those things. And so folk have to understand every vote does count. And remember, even in this state, when it was the race that was tied, and it was a choice out of pick a name out of a hat that determined who controlled the House because they were tied. So when folks say, well, one vote doesn't matter, we know that's a lie.
Yes, we do know it's a lie. As Kimberly Pope Adams, 53 votes made a difference in her race. It's 53 people in this room that could have made a difference 2 years ago. Now we have people that are sitting in seats at this moment, making pivotal decisions that impact me, but more so our young people, and that will impact your children. If we do not get out and vote, we will not be able to stop them from anything trickling down from the federal level to the state level. We have to have a gap stop at some point to say that no means no, and we're not going to abide by the horrendous policies that they are doing up at the national level. So we have to have someone at our governor level, our lieutenant governor level, especially our attorney general level, but more so our General Assembly, so that they can implement policies that will protect us.
Absolutely. Before I go to Arnold, just folks know, we always, when we go to many places, we invited Petersburg Mayor Sam Parham to come on today's show, but he declined the invitation to come. And so, just so folks know, so folks like, man, y'all invite the mayor? We did. He ain't here. Listen, I'm just stating a fact. Councilman, one of the things that I'm always saying, though, that it's one thing to tell folk they need to vote. It's one thing to say, hey, we need to get you to register. But we have to also really begin connecting the dots. Because let's just be honest, a lot of folk have no clue what the hell y'all do. They don't. People don't, a lot of people don't know how the difference between a city councilman, a county exec, a state rep, a state senate, what a school board does. You get members of Congress who say they get phone calls that's about stuff that's really the city or the really a county job. And so we also have to have, after the election, before the next election, constantly what I call voter education, civics 101, so people really understand how government works and how government impacts every facet of a person's life.
I definitely would agree with that. On behalf of Mayor Parham, who is a little bit under the weather, I am stepping in on his behalf. He does
should have told me he was sick.
Well, that's a big thing, like communication. Communication in our communities is very important, and I think it does start with the youth and this new generation of voters and not getting voter fatigue. I think that's what you kind of was alluding to, because in Virginia, we vote every year.
But that's everywhere, though. I mean,
no, not every state votes every year.
No, probably. What I'm saying is, no matter where you go, there's going to be an election, whether it's a statewide, federal, city, county, or school board. So the reality is you're always going to have, and also depending upon what municipality you live in. And so I get people to say voter fatigue, but they sure not fatigued when electricity goes up.
Correct.
Not fatigued when they're looking for improvements for economic development.
Correct.
When they're talking about funding HBCUs.
Correct.
And so, again, other folk ain't tired.
And I agree. We have to make sure that our students understand that this is a marathon and it's not a sprint, as well as our older people to pour back into the elders, to pour back into the youth and the middle class so that everybody's playing their part. And that's what I meant about communication, because it is a difference between being on city council as well as being on school board. I can't handle all the issues, but I kind of be informed of them so I can talk to the constituents, let them know that I am concerned. And I think it's about servant leadership, so that as I teach the students, whether it's my Crown Him guys, Call to the Kings, or my Crown Her girls, that I empower the young people to understand.
Oh, what are Crown Her girls? You get the Crown guy shout out.
Well, see, the Crown Her girls are here. Y'all gonna put y'all crowns up?
All right. Oh, so the dudes say something, y'all don't say nothing.
We're working on that, Roland. We're working on it,
Y'all
Roland.
ain't
We're
got
working
no
on it.
calls.
See, I don't want to do all my calls because
Y'all ain't got no call and response. Just go, hey, Crown girls, hey.
Well, we got one for everybody. We got one that everybody does. Can we get a Hell State? Hell State? Okay, that's good enough for you, brother.
No, because the damn girls still ain't said nothing.
It's a lot of
I'm
calls.
just saying. Go
But see,
ahead.
I'm not gonna call out my Omega brothers. So
I don't miss nothing, but go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't missed that dupe and that alpha shout out. But again, we hear about all of us working together.
He's an Omega.
The Omegas are on the front lines too.
On the what?
The Omegas are on the front lines, man. You know what I'm saying?
Don't hurt your feelings.
In all seriousness, we all play our parts and we all know how to get these things out. So whether it is economic development, the homeless rate, the poverty, or issues that really affect people differently, it's all about still just getting out and making sure that we can have good, sensible conflict resolution discussions, because I teach speech and debate here at Virginia State University, and we're also taking it into the schools of Petersburg so that we can understand in this time we can be disagreeable without being violent and just straight nasty to people. But how can we get to the table and talk? Because a lot of times when we get to these tables, we can find that there's similar talking points between us both so that we can move this needle forward for a better country that we live in.
The worst thing for me, though, is when we're talking about, again, elections, and for me, the reason I get it in a different way, because my parents were co-founders of a civic club. Mm-hmm. So the age of 8, 9, and 10, I'm sitting there, because we all free labor, sitting here. So the granular issues that impacted a neighborhood, going to city council meeting, knowing who to call, how to get vacant lots cut, and how to get abandoned houses torn down. So I saw it at that level. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I think we need to get many people to understand. And this is why I think voter education is so critically important, because that's the role of government. What has happened is folk are running around saying, well, government has no impact on my life. And I'm like, that's the dumbest crap I've ever heard in my life, because it impacts literally every facet of your life from the womb to the tomb.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.